I think that you should join my channel. That's all there is to it. Hi there, welcome to Jujubee DIY. I'm Sarah. Today I want to show you how to make 5 whimsical spring farmhouse DIYs on a budget. I also have an adorable Dollar Tree bunny transformation you're not going to want to miss. So if you want to see what I've created and how I created it, let me show you. For our first DIY, we're going to utilize these Dollar Tree DIY egg ornaments. I used washi tape in a couple different sizes to mark off some stripes. One is going horizontal and the other is going vertical. And then for my other 2 eggs, I wanted to create some circles. So I'm going to use these templates or stencils that I got from Walmart a while back. I'll try to link those if I can find them down below. But the little egg, or the blue egg that you saw just a second ago, has little tiny circles all over it. And then this stencil has got various sized circles. So I just used a white pencil to create the outline of the circles, and then I'm going to go in with my Posca paint pen and fill those in with the white marker pen. Now I'm going to use my very favorite technique for filling in stripes or areas where I don't want bleeding. I just push down that washi tape really well, use a makeup sponge, and add that paint in light layers. And then you just peel that washi tape off and you've got perfectly great and clean lines. Now I wanted to create some extra interest in my eggs, so I'm going around with this black Posca paint pen, making some little uneven artistic circles inside the white circles, adding some dashes in the white part of this egg, adding more dot dashes on this egg, but on each side of the white mark. And then in that blue one over there in the corner, you can see I just did like little half circles in each of those circles. So we're creating a garland. And if you haven't seen me create garland before in the past, my favorite trick or tip for doing a garland easily is to add a small bead on the back of your elements. And then you can just easily string your twine or whatever it is through those beads. It makes it very easy. You don't have to worry about making sure that however you're hanging it, that your elements are going to be facing forward or whatever. And I like this because I feel like the beads help hold the elements that you're putting on your garland in a specific place, so they don't slide around. So I did paint some beads in a white color, and then I'm going to make a pattern. So I'll do a white bead, a small purple egg that also came from the Dollar Tree, and then a white bead, a large egg, a white bead, small egg, white bead, large egg. You get the idea. So we'll just keep stringing those on. And I actually did kind of run into a little bit of trouble getting my jute twine to go through with the needle. So I just cut that twine off at an angle, and then I'm going to add just a teeny tiny bit of glue just to help keep it from fraying. And now I will be able to string that jute twine through those beads easily, just like that. So I will continue my garland until it is complete. And there we go. I just did a pattern with my eggs that had the pattern on it. So I did a circle, stripe. And I think that this garland is super sweet. And like I said, I love that you can kind of play with those elements and make them sit where you want on your garland. So adorable. All right, for this one, I was able to find these little cutting boards at my Dollar Tree. I'm also going to use 2 of these wood ornament DIY carrots, and then this little plaque is a Plaid product that I picked up at Walmart. It was originally painted white because I was going to use it for another project, but I do end up painting it with the Nantucket Blue from Folk Art Home Decor Chalk Paint. For my carrots, I gave them a coat of orange paint. I will leave everything that I use in my description box down below, so if you're curious about a certain color, you will just go down in my description box and you can find what I've used. So I painted my carrots orange on the bottom, green on top, and now I'm just going to freehand some circles in the carrot portion. So in that orange portion, just using a small flat paintbrush to create those white circles. And I'm just going to go around and add them wherever I want. Some of them will be falling off of the carrot. That makes it look a little bit nicer for like patterns. If you have some that are on the carrot, some that are kind of half on, half off, it just creates that flow. So that is a kind of a pro tip for you there. And I'll do this to both carrots. Now I'm going to take that Posca paint pen and I'm just going to add very small dots all the way around each of those circles, just to add a little bit more interest and a whimsy to our carrots. And again, I will do this to both carrots. Now using that same white Posca paint pen, I am just going to do some little lines and dots around the green part. Again, just to add a little more character and interest into our carrots. And now some black. Again, just going around each of those circles. And I am just kind of they're just kind of broken circles. I'm not making them perfect. I am just kind of adding just a really artistic touch. So I really had problems with this video and I apologize for this, but I had painted the main part of the cutting board white and I had given it a couple of coats, but you could still see the little lines that were on there originally that were kind of like that shiplap or wood grain that was on there. So I'm just taking this straight edge and a pencil and I'm just recreating those lines. So I wanted it to look like it was a board, cutting board, you know what I mean? I think you guys know what I mean. So I'm just adding those pencil lines and then I will go back through on each of those lines and I will just smudge those out just to make it look a little more seamless. Now I'm going to add some twine around the this raised area in the middle. It's got the little sign on it, just regular jute twine, and I'm just going to hot glue that around. Now I completely lost the footage of the assembly of the cutting board from this point forward, so I really do apologize for that. Like I said, this video ended up giving me a little bit of trouble. So what I did was I hot glued that plaque that I had painted blue in the middle. I had added a couple of little twine bows onto my carrots there, and then I kind of crisscrossed them and hot glued them down. I added a little bit of jute twine around the handle of the cutting board and I love this piece. All right, here's that Dollar Tree transformation I was talking about at the beginning of the video. I've seen lots of people do fun things with these little bunnies, but most of it's just using some sort of paper or something to cover the whole entire bunny. And I wanted to create a cute and whimsical bunny for this Dollar Tree plaque. So I just drew in a little face and added all of his little features and elements. I took a still picture of this bunny, so I will link that down below so that you've got a nice reference photo in case you want to recreate this same bunny. But I'm just going to go in with some gray paint to start adding in all those elements.
All right, so I wanted to jump on here real quick and tell you a little bit more about my channel in case you are new here. I like to do whimsical and cute seasonal DIYs on a budget. I also like to do non-traditional farmhouse, country cottage, or cottagecore DIYs as well. I think that home decor should be fun and that it should make you happy, which is why I enjoy a whimsical and bright style. So if that sounds good to you and you want to see more DIY videos from me, make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below. Also, While you're down there, make sure that you hit your favorite preferences for that notification bell. Watching, liking, subscribing, and commenting on my channel helps YouTube to know that you're enjoying today's content. It also helps YouTube to send me out into the big wide world to share my love and joy of DIY crafting with other viewers. So when you guys do those things, I really do appreciate it so very much. Now, back to business.
Okay, so what I've done here is I've added a lot of white and a little gray to my paint, and I've watered it down a little bit just to make a very, very light wash of this gray color. And I'm going in and I'm just kind of like almost dry brushing these marks onto my bunny. This is very like free. It isn't anything that's any kind of, you know, in particular of anything. I did add a little bit darker shading, like, you know, where his ears are kind of coming out of his head and where they're gonna like tip down a little bit. But for the most part, I wasn't too worried about shading. But, you know, I mean, if you want to add a little bit darker areas in those places where you think, maybe, you know, underneath his hand there might be a little more shading, or by his foot, you know, those little areas, you can add some extra shading. Now for his muzzle, I did go in with a little bit darker of a color than the rest of the paint because I wanted his muzzle to look more 3D. So I wanted it to feel like it was maybe popping up off the page a little bit. And to do that, you just add a little bit of gray around the edge of the muzzle. Going in, I am painting his nose, ears, and toe beans with this very beautiful and very fun, bright pink paint. And I'll just add a couple of layers of that until it is opaque, and I am happy with how it turns out. So now we're going to create his little teardrop eyes. So I'm using that Posca paint pen again. I really have been enjoying using this Posca paint pen for these projects. It just makes it so easy. But as I've said before, if you don't have one of these pens and you just want to use paint, feel free to water down a little bit of black paint and use a fine liner paintbrush to create these same marks. I will link a brush set that I've used in the past for fine lining these details. And yeah, so I'm just gonna fill in the top part of his little eyes black, add some little eyebrows and some eyelashes, and go around his nose. So I found a reference photo of this bunny that had his little mouth open like this, and I thought it was just too cute. So I wanted to create that same little mouth. So I just filled in the, you know, kind of the back part of the mouth at the top there, black, added some whiskers, and then I started going around like the toe beans and his feet and his ears. And then I thought, I really want to add some more elements. So guess what I'm doing? Going around the whole entire bunny with just this very loose kind of line work. So just a little bit of line art around his whole body, but it's just kind of broken and not perfect in any way, shape, or form. But I think that that just adds to that whimsical character and nature. And I just really enjoy how adding like these little lines just really makes it pop for me. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to paint his tongue, that same pink color that we had used earlier in his ears and nose and feet. And you can see I'm just using a fine line paintbrush to do that. And then I'm going to go in with this beautiful bright blue paint to color in his eyes. I thought the blue was a nice contrast to that pink and felt very much like spring to me, but you can choose any color for your bunny's eyes. Green would look adorable, like a nice spring green, lavender, brown, gray, whatever color you want to make your bunny's eyes, you have the power to choose. Now we're going to add in a little bit of shine into the eyes. So I just do a little bit of a round circle in the bottom and then a smaller circle kind of just diagonal to it towards the top. And that's just how I create a little shine mark in my character's eyes. And then I'll just go in with that white pen and just fix any marks or boo-boos that may have happened. And then I'm going to add a little bit of highlight. So I wanted to highlight his nose, make it look like it was a little shiny, just a little dot and line there. And then also his tongue. So going in on the ears and the feet, I'm going to add little tiny polka dots for a little pattern on the feet and ears. I think this just really adds again to that a whimsical character, and just it makes it so fun and just makes me happy. So that's what I enjoy. So now I wanted to create a little bow tie for our friend here. So I'm going to take some of this burlap ribbon from Walmart. I did take the wire out of it because I didn't want it to be quite so stiff. So I'm going to hot glue my ribbon together to create a loop, and then I'm going to pinch that loop in the middle and tie it off with some jute twine to create that bow look. And I again apologize that I was out of frame here. Like I said, this whole video just it was a thing, guys. I don't know what in the heck happened. I went to go edit this video and my heart absolutely dropped because so much was out of frame. My camera kept stopping. I lost so much footage on stuff. So I almost didn't even put this video out, but I hope that what you guys see you are enjoying, and I hope that you'll go ahead and give this video a like, even though it isn't one of my best. So this carrot here is one of the carrots from one of the other Dollar Tree signs that you can get. It's like a bunny head, and he's got two carrots that say like Happy Easter on it. I didn't want any words on my carrots, so I just painted the back side of one of those carrots orange and green and did the little lines, pretty much copied what it looked like on the other side, except I just omitted the words. So I'm going to go in, add some of those black details, some of those white highlights with the Posca pens, and we're going to call it a day there. So I had hot glued my little bunny's bow tie down, and then I was trying to decide which way I wanted my carrot to go. Did I want it to sit up like this or point down? And ultimately I decided to point it down. But again, you guys can do whatever you like for your carrot, and if you want to add some words into your carrot, feel free. I just wanted to make this a little more simple and just really focus on the cuteness of my little bunny's face. But what do you think? I think he's adorable. I love him so much. All right, for this project, I'm taking one of the Dollar Tree DIY bunny ornaments that you can get. I did give it a coat of black paint. I let that dry and then added a nice thick layer of the Folk Art Crackle Medium over the top. I let that dry overnight, and now it is ready for our top coat. I'm going to use this multi-surface paint. I don't know what is in this multi-surface paint. I think it must have some sort of an extra additive, like to make it more elastic or something, but because they think it's for, you know, glass and plastic and all kinds of things, it must have something extra in it. But whatever it is, it works great with Crackle Medium. So I'm going to put a nice thick layer of this all over my bunny, being very careful to only go over each area just once. So if you don't get full coverage, it's okay. We're going for that kind of chipped, old, worn look anyways. So just try and only do one coat. And guys, this is in real time. And you can see if you look up at those ears on that bunny, he's already starting to crackle. And if you watch, you can see it in real time here, crackling right before your eyes. And it is such a beautiful thing. So I'm going to set this guy aside and I'll let him dry fully. While he is drying, I am going to get this little candle holder that I'd picked up from the Dollar Tree a few years ago. But anything you have that will fit into one of those little square crates from the Dollar Tree will work perfectly for this. So I just put in floral foam and some rocks. Now you can see I've got this little crate. I painted it with the mineral chalk paint from Waverly, and I added my bunny to the front with some hot glue. And now we're just going to put our little floral, well, it's going to be our little floral piece, but our little candle holder inside the box. And now I'm going to add in just some beautiful florals to finish this box up. So I think this little flower here was actually Dollar Tree flower. Those little baby roses are from Michael's. I picked those up last year, but I did see that they had similar roses like this already out at Michael's. And then of course some of the lavender from Walmart. I just really love this lavender. So I had a little bit of like this 2-pick of lavender and I wanted to add it in, but it was a little short. So I just took one of those cuttings from one of the other picks and put it on there, and now it was long enough. So we're gonna add a little bow to our bunny. I think he needed a little something cute. So just a little twine bow here. And then I wanted to add a handle to my box. So now you can go ahead and just use the jute twine that was already on there, or pit berries, or whatever you want to add for a handle, or nothing at all if you don't want. But I had this wire in my stash. I bought this from like Home Depot or Lowe's like a billion years ago. This stuff has lasted forever. It is like stainless steel. I just cut off a bit, poked it into my box, and then used some needle nose pliers to kind of bend it up so that it won't come out. And here we have this really cute little floral display box. I love how the crackle looks on this little bunny. This is so farmhouse. This is so spring, and it is just too cute. Okay, to finish up our projects for the day, I'm going to use one of these little mini lanterns from Walmart. You can find those in the wedding section for just like $2. And then this wreath from the Dollar Tree. This is like a, I don't know, like the grapevine wreath. I don't know if it's actually grapevine or not, but whatever it is, they're very small sticks, and you can take this baby apart. You just undo all the twine on it. And then you've got all these amazing little tiny sticks. So I took the handle off of my lantern. These pop off super, super easy. And I'm just going to start wrapping these little twigs around the handle. Now, if the handle is showing through the twigs, I was okay with that. I just wanted this kind of whimsical feel to the handle with all these twigs. So, and just think of the possibilities with these twigs. Like you can make your own little mini grapevine wreaths with these, you know, buy one Dollar Tree wreath, and then you can probably make like, I don't know, probably 10 of those little tiny grapevine wreaths that you get at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. So you could definitely play with this stuff and do some fun projects. But yeah, so once I got the majority of the twigs that I wanted for my handle, I'm going to go in with a little bit of jute twine, and I'm just going to tie that down on one side towards the bottom of the handle. And then I'm just going to cut off a little bit more here. I just needed a little bit extra for this side. So I will just kind of hold this all together, and this does get a little bit tricky. So if you have extra hands to help hold, that might be helpful, but just start wrapping that twine that you tied at the bottom around to secure your twigs to the handle. And then you can just kind of keep adding in more if you need to help cover up the white, but like I said, I was okay if some of the white was showing. So here we have, I had gone all the way around, tied off and glued the ends at the other side, and there you can see our little handle has been twigified. I just cut off the extras and then I popped it right back into my lantern. So now I wanted to do a little decoration on one side, just, you know, it's a spring decoration piece. So I wanted to add some fun florals. So I'm using some of the Walmart lamb's ear, and these little berries are from a Walmart pick that you can get. There's greenery and berries that are included, and so I just picked off the berries. And then this little pussy willow is from the Dollar Tree. I think I picked it up maybe, I don't know if it was last spring or if it was in the fall. I can't really remember, but it was from the Dollar Tree as well. So I was just kind of playing around with it and decided that I wanted to add a leaf on the back side in case, you know, this was somewhere where somebody would see the back of it. So I just added another lamb's ear in the back. And then I'll just go in and kind of add some hot glue where it needs it. And I love how this turns out. I think this is just really super elegant and sweet. And I could see these on like wedding tables, you know, like I think that these would look so beautiful in like a rustic or woodland themed wedding. I think it would be so pretty, or like a baby shower. These would be so pretty in a lot of different settings. So once I was happy with the florals that I put onto my lantern there, if I can get these words out, I did create a double looped twine bow to add to the very kind of bottom. And then I'll just cut those off, leaving them longer so that they kind of flow over the top of my lantern. So now I have taken the lid off the lantern and I wanted to add in some of this reindeer moss from the Dollar Tree. And there's a little place in there that you can put like a votive candle. So I'm just tucking that greenery in between the lantern and the space for the votive holder. And I'll just go all the way around, and I'm just using those pliers there to kind of push it down into the lantern. And then I have this super adorable little bird's nest that I made last year. I will link that video right there in the iCards if you want to see how I made it, but it was really super simple. And I just glued that in there, glued the little eggs in there, and here it is. And look how pretty this is.
All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I hope that you were inspired or maybe learned a little something new. As always, leave me a comment down below. Let me know which project was your favorite or which ones you might try to recreate for yourself. If you want to see more DIY videos from me, there will be a couple that will pop up on the screen. Go ahead and click on those and enjoy. I hope that you have a happy, healthy, and blessed day, and I will see you next week. Bye!